Tucker Carlson says he wants to meet you. I would ask, would you be on his show? But
yeah, I watched this. He basically says, I don't know. I feel conflicted about Tucker Carlson. I've opposed Tucker Carlson my whole life. I think he should do it. I think it's unbelievably dumb not to do it. He should absolutely go on the Tucker Carlson broadcast if given the opportunity. My only reservation here is that people will just add to the list of reasons he's a Nazi. Yeah, that stuff doesn't work. It doesn't fucking matter. He should do it. Why go? He's already winning. First of all, there's another race happening. Okay, the idea that he's like got this in the bag is very silly, and no one should ever feel that way. It's probably campaign poison to feel that way.
When we set out on this campaign, I was fully convinced that working people in this state have a lot more in common with each other than they might think. We often find ourselves surprised to realize that we have almost everything in common. And in the spirit of that, we're going to sit down this morning with a Republican voter from Machias and try to find out what we agree on.
Yeah, they asked me earlier, a minute ago, why I got into politics, or how long, if I'd always been involved in politics. I haven't. 10 years ago, Trump decided to run, and he spoke my language. And I voted for him again. I voted for him 3 times because I wanted to see how he was going to continue, because I thought he was doing okay. And then this turn, What
are you going to say if he turns into a Fetterman? Imagine being more mad at Tucker using anti-Semitic tropes than Platner mass murdering people. Dog, Tucker Carlson is a media figure that defended with the maximalist racialized terms all of the wars that Graham Platner partook in. What the are you talking about? And Tucker Carlson is still currently a white nationalist. If you're anti-Graham Platner and you're anti-Tucker Carlson, at least you're consistent. If you're pro-Tucker Carlson and anti-Graham Platner, you're inconsistent. You're a moron. Last time we talked about Platner, Chatter said he was worse than Fuentes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't. I don't want to. I can't do that.
Completely the opposite direction, but
Pretty far.
Yeah, he's gone pretty far beyond what, and it's not good for the country.
Right.
None of what he's done is good for the country, and that's what I wanted. I hate to say, I'm not going to say I was wrong, because I don't like to say I was wrong, but I will admit, I'm questioning pretty hard on things.
Trump came along and told a lot of us that something that we knew to be true was actually true, which is that we live in a system that's stealing from us. And it's funny. I'm from Sullivan, so a lot of my friends are like 3-time Trump voters. And, I didn't vote for Trump, but I very much understand why people did. And then I talk to friends of mine who don't live in Maine or don't live in rural areas, who are always just I don't get it. I'm like, man, everybody down here feels like they're getting robbed. And Trump came along and told us that, one, you are getting robbed. Meanwhile, everybody else is telling us that everything's good. They're like, the system's great and we should protect it. And Trump said, the system is screwing you, because it is. And we all see it every single day.
I'm going to tell you right now exactly what that destroys his campaign. He's going to have a voice crack moment, and then Susan Collins up by 20. Okay? You can't have a cool, grovelly voice for the longest time and then accidentally have a Howard Dean moment. It's the juxtaposition will destroy him.
We're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. And we're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Yeah!
I was not surprised back in 2016, where I had friends of mine who were like, I either like Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump. And I know a lot of people who are like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, it makes sense to me. It does in the sense that it's because both of them were like, this whole thing is screwed up.
Blow it up.
Blow it up. Blow it up and do something different. And I think that was the message. And it's a compelling message, and one that, frankly, I think that, that's my message too. This thing is, in many ways, irreparably broken. And
Bernie's the reason why I really became 100% cynical, because in 2016.
Yeah.
Well, both times. That's 2 times that he's been just tossed aside.
Yep.
He had the nomination
Oh,
and
agreed.
just got replaced.
Yep. Well, that's the powers that be refused to let him have it, and so they did what they do. They used their power. They didn't play by the rules. They didn't do like that. They didn't let it be a fair playing field. They had power. They used power to make sure that they could protect it, which really is kind of, if you think about it, that's the entire system at this point.
It is.
Dude, why do Trump guys love Bernie so much? Okay, guys, I'm going to let you in on a secret. You here in this community, and many of you are dumb as too, and so am I, are still unbelievably educated in comparison to the average voter. Like, do you guys not talk to normal people? I do all the time, okay? And my takeaway, if they're not a Hasanabi head, is usually just their understanding of politics is literally just like, oh, I don't know, the Bernie was saying it like it is, and so is Trump, and that's why I like Trump. Anti-establishment versus establishment. That's literally it. That's it. That's all it takes for a lot of people. Please go outside sometimes and talk to human beings. Please, 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 please. Americans have no class consciousness and no political education whatsoever. Even the most educated people, educated as in like, you know, not political education, but educated as in like going to college and shit, still have a totally distorted view on politics. It always reduces back to team sports for them. Most people do not vote on policy. As a matter of fact, Pew Center researchers conducted studies on this. 80% of people in this country vote for team sports. They vote Democrat or they vote Republican. Only 20% vote on ideological boundaries. And even then, the ideological boundaries are not necessarily because like they are self-identifying like liberals or self-identifying conservatives. Even their understanding is still within the confines of liberalism. There is no expansion beyond liberalism. When they talk about like why they vote ideologically for the Democratic Party or why they vote ideologically for the Republican Party, it's still within the confines of liberalism. There is no Marxist politics in this country. There isn't. Even the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, at least in contemporary American society, there used to be, but there isn't one now. Contemporary American society, even within the Democratic Socialists of America, many people don't fully grasp their ideological tendency. For a lot of people, and that's only 100,000 paying members. Do you understand how tiny, how minuscule that is? Even within the DSA system, there are plenty of people who join the DSA because they're like, oh, this is a cool kind of Democrats. And within the DSA system, there's still plenty who are on the right flank of the DSA, plenty who are even liberals, plenty who are social democrats. That's just how it is. And that is the most successful modern socialist movement in this country's recent history. Yeah, and also it's been skyrocketing since Zoran's win, and the campaign is what saved the organization. Obviously, that played a big role in this, but that is why we also work with campaigns. Campaigns are, even in the current duopoly that exists, campaigns are one of the most effective vehicles to get in front of as many people as possible. You go out and you elect a DSA endorsed or DSA candidate, and then that candidate comes out and actually performs like Zoran is, and then boom, you get more membership. And through that membership process, you start to build class consciousness, and then you start to build political education on top of class consciousness. First, you need to develop class consciousness, then you need to develop political education. We do not have the workings of a vanguard in this country. That's it. That's the reason why I work with the Democratic Party. People ask me all the time, you're like, you claim to read what is to be done, but how dare you? How dare you take ownership over Lenin, right? That's what people say, as though Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov, Lenin, is like a profoundly popular fixture in American politics, you idiot. That's what's so funny about it, is that these guys are so stuck in their own stupid ass hug boxes that they don't think that, like, the average American thinks Lenin is like Hitler, dude. You're an idiot. You are siphoning revolutionary potential. There is no revolutionary potential. I'm trying to build revolutionary potential You can't have revolutionary potential without. Revolution is not spontaneous, okay? It's not. You need to at least have some semblance of a significant percentage of this population. There's a far larger counter-revolutionary, and I don't mean like liberal counter-revolutionary, okay? I mean straight up fascist movement in this country than there is a socialist or a communist one. That's just the truth. So what the f do you think will happen if this entire thing falls apart? Who do you think will be more organized? Who do you think will be able to take advantage of that? I understand the necessity for drawing a line of demarcation. It's just, if you were to draw that line today, you would have 12 people on your side. That's it. It's that simple. We're not there. I'm not saying the Democratic Party is the salvation of the working class in this country. I understand that it is a bourgeois party. I get it. Yeah, most of those people are also, you know, not even directly petite bourgeois content creator, small business owners. They want to be petite bourgeois small business owning content creators. Okay, they haven't even gotten there yet. So all they're doing is chirping. All they're doing is chirping on Twitter. That's their most that's their biggest contribution to developing class consciousness. Okay, but Fidel had 13 people, eats Domino's and drinks Mountain Dew. Yeah, he had 89 people. That was reduced to 13. And you know what he also had? A communist movement in the urban areas that joined their movement in a country that was dominated by a brutal authoritarian fascist dictatorship that was aligned with the American state's interests. He developed a peasant army. Do you guys have a peasant army? Do you even, like, here, if you want an apt comparison to a peasant-based movement, historical examples obviously exist. I'm not talking about like the Russian Revolution. You know, there's obviously back and forth friction there. But if you were to look at it, like one of the most successful peasant movements is obviously under Mao. There is nothing in the industrially developed world, especially in the imperial core, that resembles a peasant movement. The closest that you can arrive at with a peasant movement would be the undocumented migrant labor force in this country. And I don't see any of you dumb bitches going out, not you in this chat, but any of these dumb bitches going out and organizing the undocumented migrants. They are the closest as a class, like as a peasant class. They are the closest to a peasant class. And none of you motherfuckers are organizing around that. This isn't to say that there aren't fantastic movements all around the country, even in deep red states. There are. But if you're wondering why I do what I do, I make it very clear.
What's your health insurance situation?
I'm on my wife's.
Yeah. Okay.
Health insurance is horrible.
You really couldn't come up with a...
Chairman Mao didn't have social anxiety. He absolutely did. That's not even a joke. He did have social anxiety. He had tremendous anxiety. As a matter of fact, I forget what it's called, but he had like anxiety related, he had like physical convulsions as a consequence of the anxiety that he felt. Of course, he was like constantly under threat. So he was experiencing tremendous state repression. But yes, he did. He did have a lot of anxiety. So you're wrong about that.
More inefficient way
It's
of
just like
providing
everything
healthcare.
else. It's broken.
It's broken.
What did Ronald Reagan say? The 7 words. I'm from the government. I'm here to help. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, for me, is like until this last year, because this last year with the Republican budget cuts, it hit the VA pretty hard. But until this last year, my VA care has been spectacular. Like I go up to Bangor, or I can do community care in Ellsworth for the small stuff, like going to the urgent care and stuff. And my VA care has been...
Also didn't speak Mandarin. Granted, China didn't have unified language at the time. Yes. He spoke a regional dialect.
It was life-changing. Something feels weird, I just call up my doctor. I'm like, hey, this hurts. And they're like, come on in. They do an x-ray, they take a look at it. And then I go, and we just take care of it. Things don't have to wait. I don't have to like set things off because I'm afraid that I have to pay for it.
Platner isn't even a Demsoc though, and that's bare minimum. Yes, he is. He's a Socialist Rifle Association guy. He's a DSA guy since like 2018. He is the.
And
now he's like, when asked, he's like, oh, I'm not a socialist. I'm a small business owner. Like, yeah, dude. Dude, he's running in Maine, okay?
To me, that was one of the things that really kind of changed my opinions on what well-run government programs can do.
I've never received a VA benefit.
Really?
I got out of the military in '86.
You've got an honorable discharge?
I got a general discharge.
A general, yeah. Really? Yeah, but geez, you've got a general that...
Last fall, because I am getting older, and last fall, I said, you know,
Hassan knows as much about this as I don't know what this is. Mal could read Mandarin, standard Chinese characters. The beauty of an ideographic language is that people speaking many dialects could still all write and read the same. What? No, I was just saying, like, he spoke in a regional. Is it? Oh wait, never mind. You were actually giving me praise. I didn't understand because you wrote in a Hunanese dialect. Hassan knows as much about this as a Chinese person. Mal could read Mandarin, standard Chinese characters. The beauty of an ideographic language is that people speak many dialects could still write and all read the same. Is praise. I thought you were making fun of me. I'm sorry. I don't read Mandarin, so.
maybe I'll check into it. So I went to my local VA in Machias.
Yep.
And there's one woman that works there. And she gave me a phone number, and I said, so is this, you know, she said, that's to a lawyer. And I said, what's the lawyer for? She goes, that's who you're going to have to go through to get your discharge upgraded. And I said, you kidding me, really?
No.
A lawyer? I said, why not just go to why can't the VA do it?
So one of my best friends from Iraq, guy did 2 tours, did Fallujah Ramadi, a legitimate war hero. I've seen this guy do like actual heroism in combat. He smoked pot after we got back from our 2nd deployment, popped on a test, got discharged out of the Marine Corps, kicked out, OTH, other than honorable, no benefits. He spent years just struggling. I mean, this is a guy who legitimately, I mean, is an actual war hero. And he didn't get a single shred of support from the VA. And it was all because the way that they write the rules. We wound up getting his discharge upgraded. But it took, like, myself and a couple other guys that he served with, we all kind of got together. We got a lawyer involved. We got this, and what was you know, awful the whole time is being like, this shouldn't be complicated.
Right.
I mean, this guy has a combat record. Like, we can look through his service record book in his DD-214, and you can see that this guy did things for the nation in war. And yet somehow now we got a lawyer involved, and we did all this thing, and it worked in the end. But it was a multi-year process, and it was so frustrating. And that's something that for me, like, one of the reasons I want to go to the U.S. Senate is that having gone through these things personally and seen directly like what the bureaucratic problems are that keep people from getting it, I want to go up and write policy to make all this easier. I also want to, frankly, unleash like an army of social workers to go around the country and find vets who aren't getting the benefits they deserve and then do the process for them. Because when people are working really hard or people are struggling, the idea that they're going to go home, sit down, and like figure out all this paperwork, like hire a lawyer. I mean, if you're working paycheck to paycheck already, who's got the time? Like, nobody has extra money to go hire an attorney. Yeah.
I mean, you're doing it in the evening when all the offices are closed.
What's up, man?
How goes the battle, bro?
It's going. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good.
By the way, one of the things, I hate this guy. He's a chud. I like Tucker. He's based. I think war is bad. Debate me. You will lose. I too think war is bad, chatter. So I guess we are in agreement. All right, let's see what CNN debate looks like.